So there's this very old idea that comes from David Hume. And what Hume points out is that if you're vague enough, then any two things are going to be analogous to one another, right? So yeah, the way that Hume ends up, the position he ends up with at the end of the dialogues concerning natural religion is that, um, if you have a vague enough analogy, then it's going to turn out that atheism and theism are not distinct positions. Um, and
Oh,
it's
how
going to
would that
turn out,
work? How would that work,
well,
Dan?
because uh, the atheist might say, um, oh, there's this something or other that created the universe. And the theist says, oh, yes, there is something or other that created the universe. The theist wants to say, that this thing has a mind. But then, the atheist will say, well, what do you mean a mind? Like a human mind? And the response is, no, it's something that has an analogy to a human mind. It's kind of vaguely maybe something like a human. It's like, well, it turns out that, you know, basically any two things are going to be like this. If you're vague enough, if you're imprecise enough, then uh, you're not really saying much by saying that, that by drawing an analogy. And I think that the same thing is going on here, right? So in quantum mechanics and in the study of consciousness, we have these two different domains in which they have this thing in common. The thing that they have in common is that in both of those areas, there's two different descriptions that we have a difficult time bringing together. In the study of the mind, you have the level of neurophysiology, and then you have the level of phenomenal consciousness. And there's this old question about how exactly those two fit together, and it's unclear how they do. And then in quantum mechanics, you have what you might call like the classical domain, and you have the quantum domain, and it's really unclear how those two are supposed to fit together. Of course, they're both descriptions of physical reality in some way, so they must be some way of bringing them together. And then the trick here is to say, oh, well, because those two areas both have two different levels of description, they must somehow be the same thing. And it's like, well, that can't be